Cycling for Syria, that's what these four mates are doing. Nizar Wafائي, Eamon Saeed, Derrico Watson and Zayan Hussein are going from coast to coast, battling miserable weather and the Pennines on their bicycles.
So we're starting at Southport, which is in the east of England, and we're cycling to Hornsey in the west along the Transpennine Trail. That's approximately 246 miles.
And how long is that going to take you, do you think?
We've estimated 5 days, but it's going to be a challenge. Quite a few people do it in a whole week.
All to raise money and aid for medical supplies and people struggling in the war-torn nation of Syria.
Well, Hand in Hand for Syria is a charity set up in 2011. They raise money to buy emergency aid for Syrian civilians, and their main focus is within Syria. So they buy medical aid, food, blankets, water, things like that.
Nizar was born in Syria but came to England when he was 6 months old. He grew up and was raised in the UK, but he still has relatives living in Aleppo, which has been ravaged by fighting, violence and destruction.
The situation is quite tough at the moment. My family mostly live in Aleppo, which is where the most recent problems have been happening. So, we do get a lot of contact from them, but we hear, bad news all the time.
He says his family can hear bombing and shelling all the time.
A few weeks ago, actually, we got contact from them, and they said that a bomb has dropped on their street, and it shattered most of their windows and broke the locks on their doors. So we're quite worried at the moment. But they do get electricity and water every now and again, and food is also quite expensive and scarce at the moment.
Using their Hand in Hand for Syria Facebook page, their donations website and chatting to school groups, they raised close to £2,000. They've now set a new target of £5,000. And what about wild weather, rain, wind? What happens then?
Well, yesterday we were quite lucky actually, because when we were just having lunch, that's the time we decided to pour it down. But so far we've been quite lucky. We've got our rain gear and stuff, but it's not always the nicest thing to be cycling, with the rain and the wind in your eyes.
So it's not quite pitching tents along the way, but...
No. Just hotels, hostels, B&Bs, whatever's sort of good value for money and reasonably comfortable. Yeah.
The four young cyclists say it'll take them 5 days to reach their end destination, although they say that they're not exactly hardcore cyclists. They admit it's hard work getting up in the morning and cycling for hours until just before it turns dark. While they're staying at budget hostels along the way, they also want to point out that they're not spending any money from the charity on their accommodation. Any money they spend on hostels is coming straight from their own personal finances. Simon Anderson, that's Manchester.